Hi, I'm Carolyn Blossel. I am happy to be here tonight and welcome all of you to being here on the Strongbrook Live presentation. I just wanted to share a little bit of my story with Chris Crone and Strongbrook. And it began 2.5 years ago when my husband informed us one night that we were going to a presentation at Chris Crone's house. We had known Chris Crone for a few years previous to that and knew that he was involved something with real estate, something with money, but weren't quite sure exactly what this presentation was going to be about. I have to be honest that I was rather skeptical, and I really wasn't too excited about going to this presentation. And I made sure that we sat in the back of the room, and I got out my notebook that was maybe this wide and about this size because, you know, there really wasn't much that I could learn. Well, then Chris began giving his presentation, and my eyes were opened, and I realized that little notebook was not going to be enough to fill what I was learning. I wanted to share with you one of the first ahas that I had that night at Chris's home. He started to share his story and his journey of financial independence. And he shared this thought. He said, really, a job is simply trading your most valuable hours of the day for a paycheck. Honestly, I had never considered that correlation, that the job that I had at the time away from our home was simply trading my valuable hours of the day for a paycheck. In my mind, a responsible adult had a job. And if you didn't have the financial abundance that you were hoping for, you simply needed to either work harder at your current job so you could have a promotion, or you just needed to get a different job, or get another job. To me, those were the solutions to a better financial picture. But when Chris mentioned, what would you do without your job? How would you spend your time? What would your day look like? What would it feel like? These were questions, honestly, I hadn't even considered. I was just busy trying to make sure that the bills got paid, that we had enough money to cover all of the expenses. I hadn't really given a lot of thought to what my life would feel like if that wasn't the concern that I was experiencing every day. Then Chris said another thing that made me listen just a little bit more closely. He said this. He said, if it wasn't for mentors in his life that could take him where he wanted to go, he wouldn't be where he was. That was the other thing. I hadn't really considered the role of mentorship in my life. I hadn't realized that my life was a result of what I knew. And as Chris said, the information that is the most critical for each one of us is what we don't know. And we learn what we don't know by having mentors in our life who have been where we want to go. When I showed up at Chris's house that night, I'm the mother of 8 children. We have 3 grandchildren. The question that I had that was weighing on me heavily was, if at my age I had not figured out my financial situation so that I felt confident about my retirement, how is it possible for me to share with my 8 children any different scenario than what I was currently experiencing? So Chris introduced us to the straight path to real estate. He talked about residual income. He talked about how he quit his job at 26 and he was financially independent. I knew that Chris knew something that I needed to know. And I also knew that mentorship was going to be key to me knowing how to get from where I currently was and have a different scenario 5 to 10 years down the road. I realized that if I didn't change what I knew and acted upon better information, my scenario would not be any different in 5 or 10 years. So let me tell you what's happened in the past 2.5 years that we've been a part of Strongbrook. First of all, I don't have a job. I have my time back. And what have I done with that time? I have invested in mentorship. I have spent hours with everything that Strongbrook has to offer, learning about financial independence, learning about residual income, learning how to create the life that my husband and I want to have, and realizing that I was the difference between where I was at that time and where we now are going. I am grateful to Strongbrook. I'm grateful for what I have learned. I'm grateful to know that I can create the life that my husband and I desire, that my financial situation for our retirement has greatly improved because of our association with Strongbrook, with our financial knowledge that we have gained through Strongbrook, our relationship knowledge that we've gained through Strongbrook, and the wealth intensives that Strongbrook has to offer. I'm grateful now to introduce Stephen Miller, who is part of Strongbrook, who will share more of what Strongbrook has to offer. Let me just say that 2.5 years ago, my life was much different than it is today, and I am grateful for the journey that Strongbrook has taken me on and for the opportunity that I have had to learn and grow and mentor even now my children in a much different way than where I was 2.5 years ago. So with that, here's Stephen Miller.
Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, it's great to have that, and I'm so grateful to hear your story and how you've been blessed by some of the different principles that we've been able to teach. Strongbrook is all about creating wealth in every aspect of your life. Wealth in your relationships, wealth in your finances, obviously, wealth in your physical health, and wealth in your personal power. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things here as we pull up the PowerPoint here and we get things ready. But before I jump into the meat and potatoes of what we're doing, I want to tell a little bit of a story for myself, or not for myself, for all of you, but about myself. When I was 9 years old, I wanted something really, really bad. And I want you to think for a second about something that you may have wanted in your life, or maybe that you still want in your life, a goal that you haven't accomplished, a dream that you haven't achieved. I want you to get really clear. And if you've got a pen and paper, I invite you to write that dream or that goal down. Just take 15, 20 seconds right now and write down what it is that you want to accomplish or what it is that you want to achieve. I'll go ahead and give you that time. I was going to say, I was going to try to look at my watch here, but I don't have one right now, so I'm not wearing it. All right, so hopefully you've written something down. Well, as a 9-year-old boy, I had this dream that I wanted to build a tree house. And I don't know if any of you have ever wanted to build a tree house or something similar like that, but for me, this was so consuming. I couldn't think of anything else. I remember I would go to my backyard, I'd walk around this big oak tree that was in my backyard, and I would circle it over and over and over again. And I would imagine the different levels of this tree house and how I would build it and what I would do and what it would look like. And I would envision this tree house over and over and over again. Well, one day came and I decided I wanted to share my dream with other people. And who else to share it with but the people that you love, right? So I went to my siblings and I said, hey guys, I'm really excited. I want to build this tree house. Now, a little bit of the backstory. I grew up very poor. And I know poor is relative for a lot of people. And I want to describe what poor meant for me. Poor for me meant that we didn't go on field trips that cost the $4 or $5 because we didn't have the $4 or $5 to spend on it. Poor for me meant being on welfare, either church or state, different times of my childhood. Poor for me meant that when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, my father took me for the first time to learn the family trade, which was dumpster diving. Now, I don't want to paint a false picture. We weren't destitute, although for a lot of people that might sound like it was. We had a lot of love in the home. It was a great scenario. I had 2 parents that told me every day that, Stephen, you can do anything that you put your mind to, just go out and get it. But I lived in this situation where I was often told no if I went to my parents to ask for it, right? If I said, hey, can we do this, that, the other, it was usually no because we don't have the money, or no, we can't afford it, or no, we can't because we don't have. So here I was, this 9-year-old boy, had this dream, went to my siblings, they told me, Stephen, what do you think they told me, anybody? Yeah, you can't, Stephen, that's a dumb idea, or you're stupid, you're never going to be able to do this, And as a little kid, probably because of what my parents had told me that I could do anything I wanted to, or anything I put my mind to, I had this burning desire. And when they told me no, I wanted more than anything to prove them wrong. I wanted to show my siblings that I could do this. So Not knowing how, I started circling that tree again. And one day the thought came to me, Stephen, you're no stranger to dumpster diving, right? So why don't you check in some of these dumpsters? We lived in these old city blocks that had dirt alleyways, and in the alleyways had these massive dumpsters, not the small ones that would service one home, but these big ones that would service probably 3 or 4 different properties. And I remember thinking to myself, I can just check in these dumpsters. People discard old furniture, they discard old construction materials. Maybe I could just find what I need to build my treehouse. So I started going up and down these alleyways. I remember one day I found an old waterbed. Anybody have an old waterbed? No, do you remember them at least? Maybe you had a friend that had one. Those were fun to jump on. Anyway, these old waterbeds, if you remember them, the majority of the wood is particle board, fairly useless for an outdoor, kind of building project or treehouse. But the surround around the waterbed was like pressure treated 2x8s or 2x10s. Really great wood. So I collected all that. It also had some where you put the water bags on. They were pieces of plywood, good heavy duty plywood. So I took that as well. And started a collection. I remember one day I found an old solid wood door, and I imagine this 9-year-old dragging through the dirt, the dirt alleyway. And anyway, I started piling up this wood at the side of my garage. And I got to a point where I had collected enough wood, but didn't have any screws, didn't have any nails to put it up. And so I thought again, this old garage, we had this old detached garage. It was very dilapidated. Windows were broken in. We had some holes in the roof. And at one time, it had a cement floor, right? But that cement floor had kind of turned to dirt because it was so old and the elements had gotten to it. And I thought to myself, maybe if I clean this whole thing up and organized it a bit and got things in order, I could find some nails or screws laying around somewhere. So I did that. Got out the broom and dustpan, and I can imagine my parents kind of peeking out the door. Just let him go. Just let him do what he's doing. He's cleaning the garage, don't stop him. Having no idea what I was doing, of course, at the time. But anyway, I cleaned this garage. I collected the nails and the screws that I needed. I had a little handful that I could get my project started with, so I got to work. I made some steps, climbed up the tree, started pulling wood up, started creating my tree house. And it was really exciting for me. It was exhilarating. I remember at one point, neighborhood kids and my siblings started coming out thinking, and saying to me, Stephen, hey, so what are you doing out? Oh, you need some help? It looks like you're actually building your tree house. And I was, and it was fun and it was exciting. And I remember one afternoon I was up in my tree house. It wasn't completed. I had run out of all my fasteners, all my nails and screws. And as I'm up in my tree house, I hear a voice calling my name. It's my mother. She had come out the back door and she asked me to come down. So I hurried down the tree house. I went to her, and she had her hand behind her back, and she bent over to me, and she said, Stephen, I've got a secret for you, got a surprise, but you can't tell your siblings. And when, I don't know if this was your scenario or not, but for me, when Mom said, don't tell your siblings, you knew it was going to be good, right? So something exciting. So I said, okay, I won't tell my siblings. And she pulled her arm out from behind her back, and she opened up this brown paper bag, and inside it was a brand new box of 16 penny nails. Now, for the average person, that wouldn't probably make a big difference or wouldn't be a big deal. But for me, that was my dream. That was my goal and my vision. And here was the answer that I was looking for. Never having even gone to my mom. I didn't tell her about it, didn't ask her for it. But she came just exactly when I needed it, when I couldn't figure out the way on my own. I threw my arms around my mom's neck, gave her a big hug and kiss, took those nails and ran up the tree and got to work. And I completed my treehouse, and it was awesome. It had 4 levels, and it wasn't probably a treehouse that most people would imagine, but for me, it was a castle, and it was my castle, and I was so proud of it, and I spent so much time up there. The reason why I tell you this story is start into talking about wealth, and Andrew, would you mind making sure that we have the PowerPoint up here as well? The reason why I tell this story is because I learned some things from this story. And I didn't learn a lot of these lessons until much later on in life. But what the story told me and what it taught me was we can truly create the lives that we want. What it also taught me is oftentimes we need the help of other people, even if we think that we can do it all on our own. And sometimes when we hit those brick walls, when we hit those stopping points where we're tripping and tripping, we don't know the next step, if we will persist and continue in the proper motion, in the proper direction, the way will be made available. And that takes faith, right? It takes moving in a direction even though you don't know all the answers. And as a 9-year-old kid, I definitely didn't know how to do all these things. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to get the materials. But I persisted in that thought. I persisted forward. It's like Napoleon Hill says, if you persist in that right thought for long enough, the things will just kind of combine for your good. They'll combine to get you the things that you want. Well, that was my experience. And as we're talking about creating the wealth that you want in every aspect of your life, it all really does start in the mind, thinking appropriately, making sure that we are doing things differently than we've done in the past. Because the reality is if we don't change the operating system, the new and advanced programs that we want to acquire in our lives will never work. How many of you have ever had, or maybe remember, the old MS-DOS systems, right? The old Commodore 64. I don't know if you ever had one of those. We got one gifted to us when I was probably 7 or, it's probably around the same time, 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that. And these old computer systems, we would play games. And we would take these games and you'd have to actually load it up. This old little green typing, remember the old green screens? And we'd type it in, load, .exe and whatever, and you'd get these games to load up. And we had Bruce Lee was one of the games that we had. It was a fun old little stick figure game, And we had one that was called Montezuma's Revenge, although it had nothing to do with probably what most people associate Montezuma's Revenge with. It was kind of, anyway, it was a fun game. So we had these different games. You had to load them up. Can you imagine trying to run Photoshop? By the way, what's Photoshop? Everyone know what Photoshop is? Okay, it's a very complex system where you can go in and edit images and turn things into new things. I mean, it's an amazing imagery program. Can you imagine trying to run Photoshop on a Commodore 64? Would it work? Absolutely not, right? You have to upgrade the operating system to create new, beautiful images, right? The old operating system can only do these stick figure games. So if we want to change our life, we have to do better things. We have to upgrade our system. We have to upgrade our way of thinking. So I want to talk about, first of all, what money looks like for most people, right? The average American, we're not confident that we're going to have enough for retirement. It's just the reality. We know that $1 million isn't going to be enough today, right? We used to think if I could just accumulate $1 million, that'll be enough for retirement. Well, $1 million today isn't the $1 million of 10 years ago, right? We've got to do different things. We also know that 60% of us at retirement have less than $25,000 saved. So financially, some things are broken. Do we agree? Right? For most of us, financially, things are broken. We also know, this is from the American Psychological Association, that 40 to 50% of married couples in the United States divorce. So is there something wrong with our relationships, the connection between you and I, or us and our children, or us and our spouses? Yes, absolutely. We need to do some different things. We need to learn some different things. Here's another one. More than 1/3, 34.9%, or 78.6 million of U.S. adults are obese. So is there a problem with our health? Right? All these different problems, by the way, are related, right? It's all in the way that we think. So if there's a problem with all these different things, how do we change it? How do we break through these different areas of our life and create wealth in scenarios where right now we may feel like we're impoverished, right? Where there's a problem there we have to overcome. And the reality for me and what I've found is we need mentors in our life. We need people that have been there and done that. What Carolyn said earlier, we have to learn from people that have gone before, people that have paved the way. And one of the greatest things about mentors is they've often taken thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of hours of figuring things out, of overcoming these scenarios and these problems. And they've distilled it down and given it to us so that we can now accelerate our growth and accelerate our process if we will take the specific steps, right? So it's all about having mentors. Well, I want to talk about mentorship here for just a second. Mentors are people that motivate, they empower, they help us navigate, right? They're teachers. They originate new things for us, help us get better results. And I love this quote. It says, a good mentor goes, knows, and shows the way. So these are the kind of people that we need in our life. Now here's an individual you probably know, and if you don't, I'll just tell you, this is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is known as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. One of the reasons why I like Michael Jordan so much, and not that I don't like a lot of the others, but Michael Jordan has done something that most other athletes don't. if you understand the way that athletes work, or how most professional sports work, you get these young kids who are very talented. They've worked very, very hard, but often they come from poor backgrounds. It's just the truth, right? They get these amazing contracts. They start earning millions of dollars in their first year or two of playing professional sports. And then what happens? What happens to those individuals? Yeah, they lose it. Why? Why do they lose it? They haven't changed their operating system, right? They never learned that from their parents. So they're going off of old operating system. By the way, if your old operating system says, I earn $1,000 a month and I'm paycheck to paycheck, or I earn $4,000 a month and I'm paycheck to paycheck, does that all of a sudden change when you're earning $100,000 a month? It doesn't. You have to change the operating system in order to change the outcome, right? Dollar figures aren't going to change that. So what I like about Michael Jordan is he had success not only on the court, but also off. He's an amazing businessman. And one of the things that Michael Jordan says is he attributes all of his success to some certain individuals. And specifically, he says, other than my parents, no one had a bigger influence on my life than Coach Smith. Who's Coach Smith? Any ideas? Yeah, was his basketball coach for when he played with the North Carolina Tar Heels, right? So this is his college basketball coach. He said, he was more than a coach. He was my mentor, my teacher, my second father. Coach was always there for me whenever I needed him, and I loved him for it. In teaching me the game of basketball, he taught me about life. So here's Michael Jordan, very successful on the court. He was a leader in his team. He played for the Chicago Bulls for the majority of his career. And again, known as an individual that revolutionized the game of basketball and the world of basketball. But at the same time, he's also done some amazing things financially speaking. Here from Forbes magazine, back just in 2015, they quoted that he's earning right now $80 million a year through his Nike endorsements. So just through his Nike, he doesn't have to do a thing. Is that great residual income? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. $80 million a year from his Nike endorsements. He's worth about $1 billion. So the guy has done some amazing things financially. How did he do these things? Well, he said he's got great mentors. He's had teachers, people that have helped him in his life to get to different levels and achieve new success. That's Michael Jordan. So we need mentors in every important part of our life, right? Wealth, health, connection, personal power. These are individuals that can help us transform, become different, change that operating system. And I want to introduce something here, which is really the crux of all this for us, which is the world-class mentorship that's available at 100% of the time for every breakthrough that you need in every aspect of life. This is what we call the Limitless Mentoring Network. One thing that's really neat about this is that we understand that if we can help you overcome some of these limiting thoughts, some of these limiting beliefs in your life, things that are holding you back, maybe some of those blind spots, that all of a sudden you're going to start to see new and greater and better success. But again, it has to start here with the mind and overcoming those things. If you don't already have it, let me just do something for you real quick. I've got my phone here in my back pocket. Take out your phone, and if you'll actually, whether you have an Apple or an Android, doesn't matter. If you'll go onto either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, you can go ahead and search Strongbrook. Okay? When you search Strongbrook, it'll pull up our app. Go ahead and download that. The one thing that you will need is an invitation code. So the person that invited you here to this presentation, just shoot them a quick text, or if they're next to you, ask them, hey, what's the invitation code? And what we've done is we've offered free mentorship. There's a couple $1,000s of just free mentorship for everybody, as well as daily inspirational moments that you get as part of this Limitless Mentoring Network. So that's just a free gift for everybody. So if you haven't already, make sure you download that just as a free gift on us. All right. But I want to talk about some really important things that we've also added to the Limitless Mentoring Network. So not only each week do you get live interactive trainings. By the way, this event right now that you're watching, if you're not watching it from your phone, you can through our app, right through the Limitless Mentoring Network app. So you can go ahead and download that and do that. We also have interactive training that rotates through the different 4 areas that matter most, like we've talked about: health, wealth, connection, and power. And all those things are available right through the Limitless Mentoring Network. And that's live mentorship. Again, you can do that right from your computer or from your phone and get access to all that live mentoring. There's another thing that's available right now through the Limitless Mentoring Network, which is Limitless Mentoring Events. Now, Again, a lot of people, when they want to make that change and they realize that it's going to take daily effort, a lot of individuals say, you know what, I love that, but I also want to jumpstart. Like I want to plug in and just jumpstart my results right away. And for that, we have some amazing 3-day events. Every month, it says the Limitless Mentor Network hosts exciting live events to transform and energize every aspect of your life. You gain free access to these events. You can see a few of them here. We've got Limitless, which is an amazing 3-day event. We're going to get into that in just a minute. The Limitless Wealth Intensive, as well as the Limitless Mentor Academy. Each of these events are a $499 valued event that you get by having access and by being part of the Limitless Mentoring Network. So I'm going to go through these specific events. Again, first one here, Limitless. This is all about claiming your birthright of prosperity and abundance. Really, again, changing that mindset, uncovering those blind spots that you may not even know that you have, and breaking through, having massive transformation, learning the trade secrets of mastering your mind, breaking through your biggest blocks. And really, this is one of the big ones here, learning the art of belief breakthrough and how it will lead to positive changes that you need in your life so that you can start achieving those goals. Let me ask a question. How many of you, every single year at the beginning of the year, write down your New Year's resolutions? Raise your hand. Yeah, I think most of us do, right? We write down goals, we write down those New Year's resolutions, and you online, I can't see your hands, but I'm imagining you all raised your hands. So what happens, though, at the end of most of those years? Well, if you're like 97% of the individuals around the world, you get to the end of the year and you realize, I'm really not any closer to the person that I wanted to be or to that goal that I wanted to achieve than I was last year. I haven't done the things, or something keeps getting in my way, or I've got this ceiling. Have you ever felt like you kind of, let's just talk around one area for a second. Have you ever felt like in your job, you're always just kind of making the same amount of money? Maybe you're earning $30,000 a year and you've never been able to really break that $30,000 barrier. Or maybe you got a job for $35,000, but then you lost it and went back to making $30,000 a year. That's a limitation, right? That's a ceiling that oftentimes is self-imposed, but if we can't see that, we don't know that, then it'll just always be there. We keep on hitting it. What mentorship does and what mentors do, and what's one thing that's really powerful about Limitless and the Limitless Mentoring Network, is that you've got individuals that understand that that's all in your mind. And that we can not only raise that ceiling to help you go higher than you ever have before, but we can show you how that ceiling's not even really there. And once you remove the ceiling, all of a sudden you start to reach and achieve all these different financial goals for yourself. So it's all about, again, breaking through some of those biggest blocks so that we can achieve greater success. This is our Limitless event. Again, this is a $499 event, 3 days, unbelievably transformational for those individuals that say, I just want to jump in and I want to immerse myself for 3 days to get a really great jump start. Here's some individuals that have been to Limitless and what they've said. Jason W. says, when we came to Limitless, we had $15 in our bank account and we were 9 months behind on our house. Since Limitless, we've created over $33,000. I am limitless. Really exciting for Jason. Here's Gary N. I've lost 54 pounds in 90 days with Limitless. So on the health and wellness side, he's done some amazing things there. And here's Marianne D. She says, Anthony and I had decided to separate, and then Limitless taught us about unconditional love. We learned how to show up in our marriage in a totally new way. This instantaneously changed our marriage for the better. So again, whatever you're looking for, if you're the kind of individual that just wants to really blow past some of those blocks and limitations, Limitless is a phenomenal event that I highly recommend. We also have now the Limitless Wealth Intensive. Again, another $499 event. This is all about creating wealth, okay? Not just about getting through those blocks, but creating the wealth and the lifestyle that you want. How to create financial freedom in 10 years or less. How college kids and people that are currently retired can create real residual income, okay? A business that helps you to produce thousands of dollars in a month in less than a year. The top 5 no-money business and real estate strategies. Mastering the mindset of money, freedom, and purpose. This is what the Wealth Intensive is all about. And one thing that I love about this Wealth Intensive is at Strongbrook, we've had a lot of experience. The last 9 years, a big part of our focus has been in the real estate realm. Carolyn talked a little bit about that. And we've been helping people for the last 9 years transform their financial outcomes and create so much amazing prosperity because of the real estate that we've been able to do for them. But it's not just about real estate. Once you've created the wealth, you need to grow it. You need to manage it and protect it appropriately. So we've got this amazing system set up where we help people to do all of that. Whether you've got money right now and credit, or if you don't have money or credit, or anything in between, we've got programs, products, and services that help our clients to achieve better results financially speaking. And so that's an amazing thing. In this Limitless Wealth Intensive, we go through, we really pull back the curtains of what we've been doing over the last 9 years. By the way, as a company, we've transacted over $500 million worth of real estate with our clients. Unbelievable. Those results are things you can't fake. The reality is our clients keep coming back because it just works. It's just working for them. So they keep doing it again and again and again. And we teach those principles here at the Limitless Wealth Intensive. Not just the principles, but the actual systems that we do and how we do that for our clients. Again, that's a $499 event. And then here's some of the people that have been to our Limitless event, Wealth Intensive. It says, I came to the Wealth Intensive looking for options while feeling like all the doors were closing behind me. I found by attending what I was focusing on was the closed doors. I found that I just needed to turn around and move forward. I can't get upset over a locked door. I just need to find the open one. So Andre learned some great things there. Randall says, this Wealth Intensive has changed my mindset about debt and believing that, yes, even I can become financially free. And then Jill says here, Wealth Intensive is the correct term to use. Emphasis on intense.
By the way, this is me.
By the way, that's Jill. She's right here in the room. Okay, emphasis on intense. Some of the biggest things I'm walking away with are solutions of where to get started now. You know, actually, I'm reading this here and you're in the room. Would you mind just coming up for a quick second and just telling everybody some of the things that you learned at the Wealth Intensive?
Absolutely. My husband and I have had a goal to have some investment properties and to buy our own home. We have not, as of yet, bought our own home. And so coming to the Wealth Intensive really helped us see solutions and see where we can go. And it really empowered us. We felt really just like, okay, we know some steps that we can take. And some of the things are going to take a little while, like I said on there. And I don't feel disparaged about that anymore. Before, it felt like a someday dream. And I really felt like things were explained to me, and I really understood them, and I could walk away and say, okay, I know what to do now. And that was just so empowering.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jill. Really appreciate that. Give her a big round of applause here. You know, and now Jill's she's doing some other things that are actually going to be creating some more wealth in your life that you haven't done before in affiliation with Strongbrook. Actually, some things are coming up here pretty soon, this next month, right? Or this month.
Yeah, we're doing
Doing a grand opening.
grand opening.
Yep, fantastic. Some great things. We really help provide a system and a process for individuals that, again, may not see those options, to give you options that you can see and implement right away and create different results for yourself. So that's all about the Wealth Intensive. And then last but not least, we have also our Limitless Mentor Academy. Now, one of the things that I understand and that I believe very, very firmly is that we all have very unique lives, right? We all came from different backgrounds. We all have different experiences. We all have different talents and things that we can utilize. But those talents aren't just things that we can utilize for ourselves, they're things that other people need. And one of the great things that we do here in the Limitless Mentor Academy is teach individuals how to take that inner genius and monetize it and get paid for doing what they love. How many of you were taught as kids that in order to be financially safe and secure, you had to go out and get the normal job, right? You had to go out and become a doctor, or you had to be a lawyer or an engineer or one of the other 10 or 15 approved positions that would pay you and your family well enough to raise a good family, right? It's interesting as I look at it, some of the most successful people that I know and some of the most wealthy people that I know are individuals that are doing what they love. They're working inside of their passions, and they found the appropriate way to monetize that. So this Limitless Mentor Academy is all about launching your six-figure coaching business or your six-figure business, how to productize your message into a lucrative program, the most successful marketing strategies to fill your events. We talk all about that as well. Developing your signature presentation to keep people coming back for more and more and again and again. And then how to effectively close people into your program. At the end of the day, you're in business always for a number of different reasons, but first and foremost, you've got to make money, right? in any business, whatever your business is. And if you don't know how to get people there and how to get them coming back, if you don't know how to close, chances are you're not going to make money. If you don't make money in a business, can you bless people's lives in that business? No, you can't, right? So you have to have those things in place. So we teach you all about that and how to do that here in the Limitless Mentor Academy. Again, it's a $499 event, but tremendously valuable. 3 days of coaching you how to run your business and how to create that business around you. Yeah, question?
Kind of backing up a little bit.
Here, let me give you this real quick.
Along these lines, there's a huge number of those that are very, very wealthy that have not had traditional education, that have not gone to school. Bob Proctor's one of them. I'm actually mentoring with him as well, and doing his year-long course. And he got kicked out of school. I think it was either a couple weeks or like a couple months into 9th grade and got kicked out.
Yeah.
And now is just making tons of money, but he's serving and helping people. And it's so funny how we see this perception of I have to do it this way. And so many people they're just struggling so much. And I think that we do need an education. And there are things that we can learn at school, and I'm not knocking on that. It has its place. But there are a lot of things that they don't teach that if we know and when we can come to mentors like you guys, we can learn that will take us, to greater heights than we, can on our own.
Absolutely. And that goes back to the conversation of blind spots. The reality is we all have a certain set of beliefs, and whether we chose them or we adopt them as children or whatever the case is, we have this set of beliefs. And the reality that I've found is that not all of my beliefs are truth with a capital T, right? Some of them are things that I just chose to believe in. I used to think that, how many of you have ever thought, and you don't have to raise your hands, but think about this for a second. How many of you have ever referred to someone that was wealthy as they're filthy rich? Or they're stinking, dirty, stinking, rotten rich, or whatever, We have these little key names, these little things that we use in our language that are very, very telling if you actually pause and take a look at it. Why would we call someone filthy rich? Right? What does that mean? Well, it means they have a lot of money. But what does it really mean? It means that we're associating their wealth with dirt, filth, bad, right? Is that a truth with a capital T? Are all wealthy people bad and horrible and evil? Absolutely not. I know a lot of extremely loving and caring and giving wealthy people.
I've been to the Mentoring Academy.
Grab that, would you? Yeah. Come on up. Yeah.
So I had described earlier how I left my job. So then, of course, the question is, so now what are you going to do?
What do you do now?
Yeah. So, and I have also found, so my children range in ages from 30, he's in the Navy, to down to 14. And I'm finding that I did have one of my sons do the traditional go to college, get a degree, and get a job. But that's not how the majority of my kids are approaching their lives. So I was finding as a parent that I didn't know how to mentor another plan other than going to college, getting a degree, getting a job. And so a part of my reason for also going to the Mentoring Academy was not only to figure out my purpose and my message, but to know how to apply those principles to my children. And this was really insightful, the Mentoring Academy, both to work with other people who are also creating and have the opportunity to everything from creating your Facebook page to just even knowing how to monetize the skill sets that you have, that you may think that, well, if I'm not doing this job, then how could I have that same income? Yeah. And I wanted to say one other thing that was really inspiring for me was, why not have the goal to be a millionaire or a quadruple millionaire? And why not empower our children to look at wealth as really a beautiful opportunity instead of having some finite, I want to have a job that I make at least $50,000 or something of that mindset. That I really want to inspire my children that anything, not only is anything possible, but a large income is a beautiful opportunity for not only service but growth. Huge growth. And I tell my kids, I said, your lives are meant to be out in the world in a big way. It's not to be in a cubicle hoping that your boss is going to appreciate what you do so that you can have that 2-week vacation or whatever. That's such a small way to live. And I feel like we all have such a bigger splash to make in the world.
I love that. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I really appreciate that. So again, for everybody, because again, I believe that everybody has that within them. Anyone that wants to express that, this is a wonderful event to come to. I definitely highly recommend this as well. And here's a few people that are also taking it, aside from Carolyn. Stacy says, participating in the Mentor Maker program has been the missing piece that I've been looking for. I don't just simply have my message, but now I know how to deliver it for maximum impact. Chris has been masterful in bringing this new awareness and experience to me. Here's Kara. This has been a unique refiner's fire, giving me an opportunity to break through anything that will hold me back from living my mission. In 2 short weeks, I am 100 times more confident in who I am as a mentor and presenter. And then here's Jane Norris. Although already an award-winning speaker, life coach, and successful businesswoman, Mentor Maker was exactly what I needed to take my skills from experience to exceptional. Mentor Maker has made it possible for me to craft my message concisely, deliver it powerfully, and inspire masterfully. So again, just a fantastic event. So in addition to all that, the Limitless Mentoring Network also has a lot of on-demand mentoring. And this on-demand mentoring is world-class. You see a picture here with a number of people, but really this is over $250,000 worth of programs, products, and trainings from some of the greatest minds in the world today. People that have had problems, found solutions, and then they've distilled it down, like I said at the beginning, so that we can learn and grow from it at a faster pace. This is really the third part of this mentor network. So not only do we have the live mentorship that's available through the app, we have the live events, all these live events that are you can have access through the app. We also have this on-demand mentorship that's available 24/7. So when you want to grow, when you want to work on something, you can just go and find that mentor, find that course that works best for you, and start learning right away. So we've got 2 different options here. You can join the mentoring network today for $99 a month. And that includes weekly live mentoring, which is about a $299 per month value. Free access pass to all of our events. Again, those 3 different events, each are $499 events, but you get basically an all-access pass as you're paying the $99 per month to that. So that's $1,500 a month in access. And then you get the on-demand mentoring, $250,000 worth of mentoring for a small investment in yourself of $99. And my recommendation, my invitation to anyone that's watching this right now is, if you're not part of the mentoring network, if you're not part of the Limitless Mentoring Network, then decide today to do something better. If you haven't been reaching your goals in the past and you feel like you keep on hitting those ceilings, decide today to do something better. And maybe something you've never done before. Invest in yourself. See, there's a difference between paying $99 for something, right? We pay $99 for cable TV, you know? We pay $99 a month for our cell phone bill, right? Those are things that we pay that aren't really probably ever going to bring us a massive return. Invest in yourself, though. If you've never done it before, if you're a little scared maybe as of what this might look like, choose to invest in yourself, $99 a month, and start learning from individuals that are doing different things. And here's the interesting thing, different isn't always better, right? But better will always be different. So not only are we going to learn from people that are doing different things, but we're going to learn from people that are doing better things. So we can help ourselves to accelerate that growth and reach new heights. We also have option number 2. And this is really for the individual that wants to get in this and get a jump start. And we have a jump start kit. It's $499 and $99 a month. And that allows you to do a couple different things that I'm going to talk about here moving forward. I'm going to talk about a financial freedom opportunity. We've been talking about creating wealth. And a lot of individuals come to me and say, Stephen, this all sounds wonderful, but I need something to earn my way there. I don't have, we have a lot of higher end programs as well within our company. I have individuals that say, you know what, I want to participate there, but where do I start, or how can I get into it? So the great thing about the Limitless Mentoring Network is you have an option to get paid while you're growing, right? Actually get paid while you're changing yourself. First of all, if you introduce 3 other people to the Limitless Mentoring Network and they start paying the $99 per month, your $99 subscription is free. So first of all, you get it for free if you just get 3 other people on it. On top of that, you also earn $26 per month with each subscription. So not only are you getting paid, but you can also get it for free as you're getting paid, which is very, very exciting. You can earn residual income on individuals that you bring who then bring other people. So it's great that way. And you can earn up to $4,000 when someone joins one of our more aggressive programs. So we have all these different programs. And let me ask you a question. As you're changing and growing and removing those limitations or removing those ceilings, getting through some of those blind spots and uncovering those and breaking through, would you be opposed if we started sending you a random check here or there for $1,000 or $2,000 or up to $4,000? Is there anyone that would return that and send it back, return to sender? I didn't think so, right? We know that as you are creating that transformation in your life, that you're going to want to share it. It's who we are as people. When we find something good, we want to give it to others as well. And so when you do that, we'll send you those checks. It's a big part of what a lot of people are doing here to create more financial freedom in their lives. We also have a proven business system. We have a business mastermind that we do every single week at every single Wednesday morning, which is phenomenal, helping you understand the systems that you can implement right away. Also, what people are doing that are seeing the success that you can also then emulate and do as well and start seeing the same success. And when you come in at the $499 level, right here for the Jumpstart Kit, you also get a free coach to help you launch. That's huge. Having a mentor in your corner to help you know exactly what to do to create that abundance, that financial freedom here with the Financial Freedom Opportunity. So at the end of the day, again, there's 2 different options. Option number 1, invest in yourself, $99 a month, and join the mentoring network. That includes the weekly live mentoring, the free access pass to all of our 3 events, as well as on-demand mentoring. $250,000 worth of some amazing training and courses. Or of course, option number 2, get the Mentor Jumpstart Kit for $499 and $99 a month, which will allow you to maximize your commissions and get that personal coach to work with you as well. Whichever you choose, my invitation for all of you is to get started today. Do something better. Choose to, the reality for any part of our life is if we want to improve it, if we want to get a result that we've never gotten before, if we'd like to create something better for ourselves, then we have to be willing to not just do different things, but we have to be willing to become a different person, right? It requires change. And change is a scary word for some people, right? Some people are stuck in their ways and they've learned certain things and they keep on just going back to that because that's what's familiar and that's what they know. But I will guarantee you that if you will step outside of yourself for a moment, if you will do something better, which means if you will change a little bit, just a little bit at a time, and do things that you've never done before, you will begin to create different results. And those results will be better here inside the Mentoring Network. So my invitation for you is join today. Invest $99 a month. Get back with the person that invited you here. They can help you and get you enrolled, investing that $99. Or if you're interested in also starting a business with it, I highly recommend that you get started here at the $499 and $99 a month. Get that personal coach. By the way, the $499 is just one time, just to make sure I made that clear. And then the $99 a month, you get the maximize your commissions as well as work with a personal coach to help you get there. So, one free bonus I do want to offer everyone tonight is if you're not sure what to do right now, and this all sounds great, but man, you just got a couple questions, then I want to offer you a free Get Started consultation to help you launch. That free Get Started consultation is very simple. We call it a game plan. If you'd like to get a free game plan, just make sure that you go ahead and email Christine Rushing. So that's Christine, CHRISTINE Rushing, Rushing, at strongbrook.com. Email christine.rushing@strongbrook.com and just put in the subject free game plan. And we'll go ahead and get you set up for that. Other than that, are there any questions from anybody online? You want to go ahead and type it in real quick just to see? And any questions from anyone in the room? There's a little bit of a delay, but no?
I was going to say, with the events, can you go more than once with the
Oh,
$99 a month?
Thank you. Fantastic. Yes. So when you're paying and investing in yourself the $99 per month, you have unlimited access to all of our events. These are monthly events that happen every single month. As a matter of fact, our next Limitless Wealth Intensive is coming up next week. It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 10th through the 12th. So you can jump on directly from your phone or from your home computer, or you're welcome to come here live. But yes, every single month you have full access to every single one of our events. They're all live streamed, as well as you can come live. So great question. Thank you very much. All right. Well, everyone, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.